Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our bold analysis. Today, I have really taken time to go back to Jacaranda a day after the long drama that will see a confrontation between locals and ferried crowd that went to the Jacaranda. I want to give you a strong account of what I observed and also my findings after going there early in the morning, because I feel Kenyans at least have the right to know what exactly happened. I was there personally yesterday. I lost my phone in that melee. And of course, I observed, and something I want to say first is when it's about, if you don't want to attend someone's rally, just stay home. And secondly, politicians must put their logistics right and security must be fixed before settling in for a political rally. And by the end of this analysis, you will find out my strong belief that Ruto was not supposed to go to Jacaranda from the word go. But let me just explain what exactly happened. When I went to Jacaranda in the morning, the place was cordoned. And I think in my early analysis, I mentioned that the entrance gate, because I went through the Savannah route, the way from the Greenspan Junction to Jacaranda, police were all over and surrounded the ground, were explaining now to the residents that there is no rally that was supposed to be there. And there was clear indication that there was no rally because, unlike in previous political engagements there, they used to seeing the stage being put maybe previous night or even in the morning, and there was nothing like stage that was there. Police had taken control. By the way, let me explain. Even in the morning, it was not just in the field. Like, you could come all the way from the center to Jacaranda, you will spot the men in blue, all the way from Mamalusi, Manyanja Road, and also the other side of Greenspan. But I think as that was happening, there were on and off conversations between the organizers and the police. Because what had caused the problem was Francis Muriithi, who is the UDA candidate, booked the field on 15th. And also Babu Owino booked the field the following day. Even though my position is Babu wouldn't have been allowed even to book now that Muriithi had. However, this is the truth. Babu Owino cannot fill Jacaranda Stadium. Neither do Francis Muriithi have that clout to jazz that stadium. So Francis Muriithi, I think, was working under direct instructions from the UDA, and maybe perhaps it was just a mostly Sakaja's event. So after that, somewhere in the around 11, because that was in the morning, I came back home. So around 11, the police was started now to pull off from the field. And it is at that moment that Francis Muriithi came in, and he came in through the Savannah route, not the other side of the Soweto, through the other side of the side of Greenspan. Na alipoingia, he was leading a group of his supporters. And I want you to look at this video. Now, if you look at this video, you will see two distinct groups. There is a group that is the lower side, and there is one that is the upper side. Now, the one that was the lower side is what the members that believed to be the supporters of Babu Owino. But now the ones that were this other side were the supporters of Muriithi. At this moment, it was totally Purely, it was purely locals and some few people that had come in with the caravan. So the confrontation ensued, and it is at this moment, after the confrontation between the two, because alipoingia, he tried to charge in, getting to the bunge la wananchi, a tree where these people were, and that's where now the stone throw started, confrontation between the two groups, and the clash happened. That is when Nani Mureithi was also stoned and he was injured. So to that extent, that's how what it got. And I want you to look at this other video. You see, this bus was coming in, ilibeba watu. So it had just dropped people the way. In fact, ilikuwa inapiga kona irudi back. And so that drop off also agitated the other group, because for me, I was inside ya polisi. If you check, the drop watu ikarudi, then police now wakaingia katikati. The police got in the middle now to separate the two, because the other team was being charged the other end. So that understanding first, that was the first clash, and I think the situation was cooled. But ile group ya the Babu Owino's group, allegedly the Babu Owino groups, then were moved to the periphery of the ground, the lower part of the ground. So they were, most of them were that side, even though the number went down. So when people, I think it was around 1, there was a realization that deputy president was coming, and how people know, now people started coming in. I want to look at this video of Nixon Korir with some guys in the brown apron. So these guys in brown apron, I don't know, I understand that they are normally security guards for the politicians, but walikuwa wengi sana, and they came na wakajaza the stadium. So from around mid-morning, people were being dropped in the rally. I had them in my phone, but unfortunately that phone was snatched in my hand. So I had the clips of people being dropped. So when these people, when non-locals were dropped, they outnumbered the other group that was supporting William Ruto, that was supporting Babu Owino. So from that moment, the confrontation changed. It was no longer about Mureithi and Babu Owino, but the confrontation changed between locals and non-locals, because hao walikuwa na feel kwamba they are supposed to be there, but they've been pushed to the wall, and the people that have now come in are non-locals. So let me explain something. Let's get back to this other video. This is the video when Ruto was coming to the stadium. And I want to check, if you check this part, the vehicle was coming. It came through now the Soweto route. The Soweto route is the direction where Mureithi supporters, who I want to say at this moment were not necessarily the locals of that area, but had been dropped off there, walikuwa katikati ya uwanja throwing stones to send away allegedly the Babu supporters. So the Babu supporters that were pushed to the periphery of the ground because they were outnumbered. The ones that now came from Mureithi were many, and they were not locals. So when they were pushed to the other end, it was that direction that William Ruto was coming. So when William Ruto was getting in, the stone throw between the two camps was still going on. That is the truth. In a confrontation between the allegedly Babu Owino supporters, who are now the residents of that Soweto and that area, and Mureithi supporters who were transported, they were brought there, the army guys, the guys that were putting on the brown aprons, was going on. Wakiwa huko, some of them now were on top of houses, of the mabati houses, and now they could throw stones from that end. So it was a frustration after they were pushed the other end. I am not trying to legitimize to legitimize that was right. However, when Ruto came in, that is what happened. Look at the way he was received. The things were well. If you're somewhere in Jacaranda, let me first explain something. there is this narrative that Babu Owino might have paid those youths. I want to ask a question. This thing started in the morning, asubuhi, when the place was blocked, then the confrontation between the two camps, which was wamama, vijana, and all that. Even if a payment was to be done, so who would mobilize 500 people the other side then to face off this? This just took a natural conflict between the two. However, baadaye, the ones that then were throwing stones between the two camps were vijana, young people. Ask someone who was in Jacaranda. Young people who, even if it were to be mobilized, some of them were street children, as little as young. And I can remember when I was talking to some police, I was asking her, mbona wao hawaendi kuwasaidia, and she was telling me that wale ni vijana wadogo, hata there is nothing you can do, hao ni kama wanafanya tu mchezo, and it was never a big deal. But the moment Ruto came in, hiyo confrontation ilikuwa inaendelea. And if you want to see, kuna mtu alirusha mawe. Look at this screenshot. Huyu jamaa, kuna mtu anarusha mawe hapo na polisi ako mbele yake na polisi ako nyuma yake. What does that mean? Alikuwa side of the police. So what exactly went wrong? That's what I want to explain. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly subscribe to our channel. I think this is in the light of what I observed. Number one, whether the confrontation was planned or not, it happened because of the conflict. It might be that Babu's maybe booking of the field was just a small screen, just managed so that the rally would not be there. But then there are questions as to why Ruto would not be allowed to attend that rally and all that. And it was that rally actually was organized by the Sakaja team. So, one, Ruto used the wrong route. And he exposed supporters and everyone to that. The moment police were withdrawn, hawakuwa wengi even the other side. If Ruto wanted to get to Jacaranda safely and do his rally and leave, angetoka na njia ya Bicenta, the other side of Donholm, get to the Greenspan junction, that junction, aingie that side, that is the side where the supporters were and the men in blue were many. But the route aliingia na the wrong route, knowing very well that even the confrontation on those sides, let me tell you, the upper side, someone who was not going to Jacaranda, gate Jacaranda was very safe. Very safe. The police were there, people were very peaceful, they were dancing to the songs, and actually they were waiting for Deputy President, only for him to come on the other side. So in terms of the advisory, that was totally wrong. So I don't know whether he was advised to do that so that the confrontation might happen, so that it become a political narrative, or it was by mistake. That one, I'm not sure. Number two, politicians must find this right. It is right to ferry people to bring to a rally. It is very right. However, to some, in fact, it is what normally brings the conflict of interest. Because, remember, when people are seeing the men in, the brown aprons and all that, na wanakuja na merchandise, they feel like there was a sense of us to be part of that rally. Early in the morning when we were talking, just be peer talks with the people around there, the residents will be saying, wacha Ruto tu akuje afanye rally. Kwanza sisi tunataka tu tufanye kazi, afanye rally ndio tutapata pesa. You understand? So the residents of around Soweto did not own up the Jacaranda rally because there was a sense that the people that had been brought there were actually ferried. So the confrontation was between the locals and non-locals. Number two, why? Money and merchandise. So wakati umeleta watu, these people are having the t-shirts, they're having the caps, and there is also a sense they've been paid. So the locals around do not own up. They do not feel to be part of that rally. And that is also one of the things that was bringing that confrontation between either side. I don't think it was mere the fact that Babu was coming to there, because honestly, Babu had posted in his Facebook page that keep off, Jacaranda, don't go. So even to Babu supporters, there was a sense that he was not coming. But that place, there was already tension. And if Ruto really wanted to avoid, he would not just have gone there, because already the two factions were there. They captured it in TV and it was all over that fans from Mredi wako huko na wake wako huko. So, and they know that if they went, of course a confrontation would happen. I'm even told that immediately Ruto left, there was another ugly clash between the supporters. Last minute cancellation of the rally just by the police presence. I think if that was the condition and someone wants to cancel a rally, then just involve the parties involved. Just involve the UDA team, tell them why that rally is not going to be there, the other team why that rally is not going to be there, so that it just becomes a general consensus that we don't have a rally. Not a situation where someone feels like I've been blocked from attending the rally. Because when that happens, it brings what I can say security lapse. Immediately the police were with the drone. There was a sense that sisi tulikuja ku make sure rally haijafanyika